Hi everyone, J3 here, and today I want to talk to you about scams and how to become scam proof so that never again will you waste money on those illegal get rich quick schemes. Now, when it comes to scams, I just want to set things straight and be brutally honest with you. If you get scammed, that's 100% your fault. It's not the government's fault, it's not the scammer's fault. It was a decision you made, and of course, you have to live with that decision. And the important part here is really to stop blaming other people, but to learn from that mistake and to move on. And of course, to learn how to never get scammed again, how to avoid that mistake in the future. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 tips on what you should do whenever you encounter an opportunity. Okay, so let's start. Tip number 1 is first thing you do is you have to stop. Stop and check in with your emotions. Because whenever a new opportunity comes up, it will always give you that feeling of excitement, of happiness, of hope na, shucks, ito na yun, this will change my life, and magbabago yung buhay ko dito, this will make me rich, and so on. Plus, it's guaranteed. Oh my God. And next thing you know, you're paying in, nagsusulat ka na ng cheque, nagde-deposit ka na sa banko, and then, bam! You have no idea what happened. Pasok ka na sa investment. You went in without any proper analysis, and you just hope to God that sana mag-work out ito. And of course, we don't want this to happen. We don't want our emotions to get the best of us. So, the first thing to do is really just stop. Don't make any decisions and ask yourself, what are you feeling with this opportunity? Is it greed? Is it excitement? Is it pure excitement? Because if you get caught up in your emotions, yung further steps na pag-usapan natin dito, hindi na gagawin kasi excited ka na masyado. Never make a decision when you are emotional. Okay? So, by simply acknowledging, by just stopping and acknowledging what you're feeling, your emotions have less control over you. So, when you stop and acknowledge it, you'll be able to make better, rational, and more logical decisions about this investment you are considering. And a majority of the investments out there, when you actually think about it, when you actually stop, at first glance, makikita mo agad, scam yan eh. If you take out the emotions out of the equation, kitang-kita obvious na scam yan. Now, the better of the scammers out there will use this tactic on you. They will give you a very false sense of urgency to make you to decide right now, buy now, get in now. Kasi ngayon lang yung available yung opportunity, so you have to decide now, and they will do their best to make you decide on the spot so that you're still high on your emotions. So you're not thinking clearly. Okay? So that's the reason you have to really stop. But here's the reality. May mga opportunities na magaganda na dadating sa atin, may mga opportunities na mga pangit. Okay? Now, if you're not given enough time to distinguish kung ano ang maganda at sa ano ang hindi, then say no. At least you keep your money, and when a good opportunity comes that you can actually go in, then meron kang pera. Hindi yung papasok ka na lang dahil, ay shucks, sayang, baka ito na yung last opportunity. No such thing exists. Laging meron at merong opportunity na dadating dyan. And the important part is that you're prepared by keeping your money kapag hindi ka pa ready. So again, the first step here, it's to stop, don't decide, so you have time to think about the decision. Now, this brings us to number 2, which is to make sense of the money system. The universal law of money is that it is always proportional to the value provided. So, ibig sabihin, kung meron kang binigay na pera, ibig sabihin may makuha ka dapat na value equal to that amount. So, halimbawa, nagbayad ka ng piso para makapag-send ng text message. Nagbayad ka ng 20 pesos para makakain ng 4-piece siomai. Nagbayad ka ng 100 pesos para makabili ng rice meal chicken inasal. Okay, nagbayad ka ng 1,000 pesos para makakain sa buffet. Okay, money equals value. You pay for value. Now, at the same time, the money you receive should also be equal to the value you give. So if you're someone in the BPO industry, you're helping corporate clients understand the products of your company, and in return for that, you get paid 20,000 a month or more. Now, if you're already a manager of a major department of a multinational company, then it's possible you're getting paid upwards of 50,000 a month or more. And if you're a celebrity providing entertainment to millions and millions of Filipinos, then it's going to be no surprise if you earn 1,000,000 pesos during your engagement. So, money equals value. Ngayon, pagdating sa investments, this is what we need to understand. The money you give should be equivalent to a value you get. And if you're promised a return, if you're promised a certain amount after a period, you need to understand saan nanggagaling yun, bakit ka kumikita, ano yung value na provide mo naman. There needs to be a check and balance. Money equals value. So, what you should be thinking about every opportunity you encounter is the system of how money is transformed into value and how value is transformed into money again. So, for example, let's say I give you a deal and I say for every 100,000 pesos that you give me, I'm gonna give you an extra 15,000 pesos. So, yung 100,000 pesos, magiging 115,000 pesos after 1 year, guaranteed. Okay? So take note, this is just an example, SEC. I'm not soliciting investments. Okay? So again, 100,000 magiging 115,000 pesos guaranteed after 1 year. Now, what do you think? Is this a good deal or a bad deal? I'll give you 10 seconds to decide. Just trust your gut. Will you take this deal? Yes or no? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what's your answer? Actually, this was a trick question because I haven't given you any information yet about the opportunity. Yung pinakita ko lang sa'yo, yung pera. Hindi ko sinabi kung saan ko gagamitin yung 100,000. Hindi ko sinabi kung paano ko gagawing 15,000 or more yung 100,000. I didn't explain the money system. So actually, if you gave a yes or no answer, those are actually the wrong answers kasi wala pa naman information, not enough information pa. So, if you answered yes, you may have been scammed already. And if you said no, well, you may have said no to a perfectly good investment. So, the perfect answer to this is actually an unknown option, which was to stop, get more information. This brings us back to the first lesson in this video, that the first thing you should do is stop, check in with your emotions, don't get pressured into buying. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but if we go back to the way I asked you the question, so is this a good investment? Yes or no? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was me giving you the false sense of urgency to decide now. So I'm thinking some of you siguro nahuli, some of you were able to, stop, teka lang, I need more information. And that's good. And my point here is to just make sure to watch out for that urgency thing. Kasi yun talaga yung nakakadali ng maraming tao sa scams. Now, let's go back to the example. Let's go back to the money and value in the example. So the right answer was to find more information. And specifically, you should have asked me on what I would do with 100,000 pesos and how exactly will I turn that 100,000 pesos into 115,000 pesos or more. And take note, it needs to be more kasi hindi naman pwede na lahat ng kita dun sa investment sa'yo mapunta. I need to get something in return as well because that's how the system should work to make it a win-win. So let's continue with our example. And let's say what I will do with the money is to put up another branch of my already successful restaurant. And I'm gonna say that historically, this restaurant has given a 30% ROI. So actually, yung 100,000 pesos na ipapasok mo, it will turn into 130,000 pesos. So, yung 15,000 pesos, yun yung sa'yo, and yung 15,000 pesos na kita, yun yung sa akin. So, split tayo in terms of the profits. So, is this a good deal or a bad deal? Now, again, don't give an answer. You should ask further questions. So, you should be wondering, teka lang, last year ba, magkano yung kinita ng restaurant? Gano'n na ba katagal yung restaurant na yan? And what will happen if this new branch fail? Ang mangyayari ba is makukuha ko yung pera from the other branches or totally wala na? What are the risks with this investment? And if you're wondering, hala, sobrang dami ng tanong bigla. And exactly, dapat talaga maraming tanong. You should look at the whole money system. Papaano yung 100,000 pesos naging 130,000 pesos, and every part of that process, bubusisiin mo. And that's how you become scam-free. Actually, that's how you avoid 95% of the scams out there. Kasi most scams, they fall apart when you start asking more questions. And sa totoo lang, yung nag-i-invite sa'yo or yung nagtatry mang scam sa'yo, you know, magagalit pa yun, maiinis sa'yo, and lalayo siya because you're asking too many questions. Now, before we move on to the next point, I'd like to mention something about the DTI and the SEC registrations. Kasi common na laging sinasabi ng mga tao is, i-check mo muna kung may paperwork yan. Meron ba yun, registered ba yan sa DTI? Registered ba yan sa SEC? But in reality, walang kinalaman yung registration sa papers kung yung investment ba, if it's a good investment or a bad investment. Kasi yung SEC at DTI, let's take note that they are just regulatory bodies. Ibig sabihin, kapag nag-apply yung company for papers, hindi nila tinitingnan agad kung legit or if it's a good or bad investment. Humihingi lang sila ng requirements, paperwork, barangay clearance, and so on. That's it. So, yung notices na binibigay ng SEC and ng DTI, usually they are already after the fact. Ibig sabihin, nangyari na, may mga tao nang na-scam. And it's really impossible for them to actively monitor every company out there kasi sobrang dami nun. That's why we really need to empower ourselves. We need to equip ourselves with the knowledge to distinguish kung ano ba ang okay at kung ano ba ang hindi okay. So, wag po tayong tamad magtanong kasi talagang nasa atin lang yung responsibility. Let's look at the whole money system and you will be able to avoid 95% of the scams out there. Now, bakit 95% lang? Kasi iba talaga magagaling na mang-scam and nagbibigay sila ng feasible na operations so it makes it realistic and feeling mo parang legit talaga yung pinapasukan mo. That's why we go to our third tip. And our third tip is consult a reputable expert. There are people who are a lot smarter than you, a lot smarter than me, and we should look to their expertise when it comes to these decisions. Now, let me just say, hindi po counted na expert si nanay, tatay, kapitbahay, tito, kuya, kapatid, inaanak. Unless professionals talaga sila in that industry. And hindi porket na kumita na sila from a certain investment, expert na agad sila. The experts you should seek advice from are people who should have no financial benefit from your decision. Ibig sabihin, dapat wala silang makuhang pera if you say no or if you say yes. Plus, preferably, they should be people who have their reputations on the line. Ibig sabihin yung tipong pag maling advice yung ibigay nila sa'yo, then you can hold them accountable kasi meron silang brand, meron silang personal brand, meron silang reputation that's on the line with whatever they say. Those are the kinds of experts that you should get. But asking an expert, that's a very delicate task, and there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. So first thing you have to know is that experts, these are very busy people. So sometimes, you should be willing to pay them in order to get their advice. So halimbawa na lang, kunwari mag-i-invest ka ng 1 million pesos, wouldn't it make sense to pay at least siguro mga 3,000 pesos to consult with an expert? So that's just 0.3% of 1 million, 3,000 pesos. And you pay that 0.3% so that you make sure that 99.7% of your investment will go into the right investment. Does that make sense? So parang sa pagkakunwari bibili ka ng second-hand na kotse. Let's say you're gonna pay 250,000 pesos for this second-hand car, hindi mo kilala yung seller, and wouldn't it make sense na kukuha ka ng mekaniko, magbabayad ka ng ilang libo doon para i-check kung, okay ba talaga yung kotseng binibili mo? So that's how you should look at it. You should be willing to spend some money on getting expert advice. Now, if you don't want to pay for the advice of an expert, then at least you should have done your homework. Ibig sabihin, ginawa mo na yung steps 1 and 2. Inaral mo na yung money system so that when you ask the expert, nandun na lahat ng details, nakaplansya na, and you're just asking him to validate or to check if you've missed some things out. Let me elaborate here. Having a good amount of followers online already, many people ask me of what I think about XYZ company and the ABC company and so on. Now, I get two kinds of emails. The first kind of email, it just goes like this. Hi, what do you think of XYZ company? Thanks. And that's it. And what I do with those emails is I delete them or I give them short responses saying, hi, I don't think about XYZ company. Please invest at your own risk. Regards, J3, send. That's it. Because wala akong nakitang effort. Wala lang man effort on his part to tell me what he already knows and what homework he has already done. But I get a second type of email, and this is very long. Sabihin niya, hi, I'm interested in investing in ABC company. These are the details. Ito yung website nila. Ito yung mga nakita ko. Ito yung mga nagustuhan ko. Ito na yung current state ko of my finances. Ito yung reason kung bakit gusto kong pumasok. What do you think po? And sometimes this is 1 page long. And I love these kinds of emails because it really shows that yung gantong klaseng tao, they have already done their homework. Hindi sila tamad. And it's really important to them. And it shows me that it's important to them that I give my opinion. And so, I also give a lengthy reply. So, usually kung 1 page yung email na sinend niya, I also reply, 1 page. Okay, these are the things that you missed out on. These are the things that you should also check. And so on. So, my advice is that if you're going to ask an expert for free, hindi ka nagbabayad, then provide him with details. Show them that, you exerted effort and hindi ka tamad magtanong. And that's how you should ask experts for their opinion regarding investments. Okay, so that's it for this video. Medyo napahaba na siya, so let's go into the summary. You have to do these 3 things whenever you encounter an opportunity. So, first thing is that you stop and check in with your emotions. Don't decide so that you can think about. Number 2, so that you can make sense of the money and value system. So more specifically, you should be asking, why are you paying money? What value are you getting? And why are you earning money? What value are you providing to the other persons in the deal? And of course, you should also consider what are the risks with this investment. And honestly, just by doing steps 1 and 2, stopping and making sense of the money and value system, you avoid 95% of the scams. And kapag obvious ng scams, syempre, no need to do step 3. But if you're investing a huge amount of money and you really want to make sure, then consult an expert. Be willing to pay money or be willing to do the homework so that even if you're asking the expert to do it for free, nandun na lahat yung details and i-check niya na lang. Be patient in doing these 3 steps and never ever rush yourself. After all, this is your money that is at risk. Ikaw yung naghirap para sa pera na ito, kaya ikaw rin yung may 100% responsibility kung paano mo ito gagamitin. And as we end this lesson, I just really want to say na sana hindi kayo maka-encounter ng scam. Pero sa totoo lang, maraming scam dyan eh. So makaka-encounter ka dyan. May mga mag-i-invite sa'yo, may mga magpapakita sa'yo. It can't be a scam-free world. That's why you and I, we have to educate ourselves. We have to learn how to distinguish between good investments and bad investments. So that's everything. I hope this video has really served you in your journey to financial freedom. Thank you for watching. And if you want more hardcore training on investments and how to achieve financial freedom and how to win the game of wealth, then please go to gameofwealthonline.com/win. So I hope to see you there. Until the next video, remember that wealth is a choice, so choose to be wealthy.